Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, and it's big news as the Manchester City captain squad has now officially been announced. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, but today's a big one. Breaking news, Kyle Walker, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Ruben Dias, and Bernardo Silva are the 5 Manchester City captains this season. That's in no particular order. The official captain, as far as I can see, has not yet been announced, which is a little bit frustrating. But they are the 5 players that are in there. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about each of the 5, and then we're going to come with a conclusion, and I'll give you my opinion, and you guys give me your thoughts in the comment section about who you think should be the captain. However, first of all, quite a few people on social media, I've seen a few people in the chat already, not particularly happy that John Stones is not in the 5-man captain squad. And I understand why someone might get a little bit frustrated at that, because it does seem to me that, he's obviously a very good player. Not that you have to be the best player to be captain. But I don't know. I understand why people might get frustrated about it, but he doesn't. I do think he's like a leader. I do think he has leadership qualities, but compared to the other players on that list, I don't think he has the leadership qualities, just in my opinion, of the other players there. Now, some people might look at that and go, why is Bernardo Silva on the list? You don't even want to be here. Fairs, but I think the list is fine. I'm happy with the list. I understand why people might want John Stones on there. I completely get that. But for me, I don't think it's a major issue. But let's start off with, let's go through the 5, and then we'll come up with our sort of our pick, basically, and I'll give you my pick. Let's start off with Kyle Walker. So first of all, been at the football club a long time now. I mean, I guess all of them have been at the football club a long time. Plays pretty much every game. There will be maybe 1 or 2 games in the season that potentially he won't be playing in because of tactical changes or whatever. But on the whole, Kyle Walker will likely start every single game. He does typically lead by example. He's a very hard-working player. He's experienced at the top level. Rarely makes an error, although when he does, it can sometimes be a bit of a bad one. He's one of the best right-backs in the world, and he's the best right-back this country has ever seen, in my personal opinion, especially in the Premier League era anyway. He's a serious option. He's a serious option. He is currently captain in the side in absence of Kevin De Bruyne. Well, obviously, we don't know if that is currently true because we don't know Kevin De Bruyne's the captain, but he is currently captain in the side. So if he gets the captain's armband, then I guess the pros is that there's nothing really changes. There's no sort of there is no change. We just carry on as we've started the season. He is the captain. Boom. We're happy with that. But there are sometimes we've seen issues. We believe that there was issues in COVID, off the field. We've obviously had the flash where he got his cock out in Manchester. So does that come into your opinion? Not for me. Not in my view. I don't think that's an issue. And I think that Kyle Walker would be a very good captain for this football club. I'd be very happy if Kyle Walker was our captain. I would have no issues with it whatsoever. And I think it'd be a really good option. It is the current captain, obviously at the moment. But yeah, I guess it just depends if you're happy with other players, if you want another player to be the captain or not. But Kyle Walker, I think, is a serious option. He's a serious shout, and I think that he could get it. Let's move it on to Kevin De Bruyne then, because this is an interesting one. Now, Kevin De Bruyne has been captain quite a lot for Manchester City over the years, on and off, you know what I mean, when other players have been injured. And he has captained the side, I think, the first game of the season or whatever. And I think he captained the side a couple of times last year when maybe Gundogan didn't play. However, does it impact you with him being out till January or February time? Do you want to now pick a captain for the season that's not going to be playing any football until January, February? Now, some of you guys might be like, yeah, that's fine, don't care. You know what I mean? Season doesn't start properly until January, February anyway. I don't know on this one. I'm a bit torn because I think if he was not injured, I think he'd just get it. I think he'd just get it. But with him being injured, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't pick him as the number one captain with him being injured. I don't know. You know what I mean? But then again, this period of the season up until Kevin De Bruyne comes back is all fluff, really. Like so long as you don't fall off the cliff, nothing ain't going to happen. You can't win the league before January. You can't win the Champions League before January, and you can't win the FA Cup before January. It's after January, February time that the season really gets going, you know, and that's when Kevin De Bruyne will be back. So I think that he is a good choice, and I think he's going to have a serious chance of getting it. I just wonder, obviously, if the players are voting for the captain, whether or not they're going to vote for him due to the fact that he isn't there until January, February. But there we go. There's a good option as well. The next choice, and a choice that I actually think is a massively underrated option, but I'm going to tell you why I don't think Rodri should be the captain. Now, let me just start off with all the pros. Rodri, best centre defensive midfield player in the world, still young, but not too young. You know what I mean? So he's at a good age to start captaining the side. Very mature on the football pitch, rarely gets sent off on the football pitch. Has a calm head, great footballer, loves the club, seems to have a great relationship with the fans, brilliant player. But there's one reason that I would not give Rodri the captain's armband. One reason. And the reason I wouldn't give Rodri the captain's armband is because of how good he actually is. And I wouldn't want to put any added pressure on him, any sort of anything that could impact his game. At the moment, he is the cog in our team that keeps us going. Opposition fans, media, even me to a certain degree, we like to talk about Haaland. We like to talk about Foden, De Bruyne, whatever, right? Rodri comes out of this team. We are a completely different side. We are a completely different side for the worse. So, in my opinion, I would not put him as the captain, because if we made him captain and it put some added pressure on him, and he started to, you know, dip off a little bit. It's the same reason that I don't think Harry Kane should be captain of England. It's because players that are so good and so crucial to your team, why are you giving them added pressure? So listen, if he was to get the armband, he'd thoroughly deserve it, and I wouldn't be sitting there going, "Oh, he shouldn't have it." Like I'd be backing it 100%. But for me, I just think with Rodri, nah, just let him keep doing what he's doing. Let him keep doing what he's doing. Let's not give him any added pressure for me. But listen, he's a good option. He's a good option, and if he was a captain, he'd be a captain that I would be proud to call captain of our football club. Two more players to discuss then. Ruben Dias and Bernardo Silva, the Portuguese boys. Okay, let's start off with Ruben Dias then. Ruben Dias. Fantastic player. Will play pretty much every single game. Defensively sound. Can lead from the back because, of course, he's a defender and he's playing in the centre-back position. It'd be a brilliant option. Sort of traditionally, you have more defenders as your captains, especially in this country. Whether that matters or not, don't know. Again, good age. He's not too young, but he's not too old where you're going to be having to do this again in a couple of years' time. So he can have the captain's armband for a long time. And again, like Rodri, I think if he got the captain's armband, we would all be very, very proud of him captaining our football club. Listen, for me, Ruben Dias is a serious contender for this now. Serious. He is a serious option to captain our football club. And if we had him as a captain, he could captain this football club for what? The next eight years? I mean, how old is he? 26. Yeah, he could captain us. He could captain the team for another 6, 7, 8 years, depending on fitness, depending on injuries. He could become a Manchester City legend. I think he's a serious option, and he's up there for me as a serious choice. Any cons? Well, I don't really see any cons, you know. I don't really see, you know, I just said about Rodri how the reason I wouldn't give it Rodri is because he's almost too good and I don't want to put any additional pressure on him. I don't really see that with Ruben Dias because The reason I say that about Rodri is because Rodri isn't just doing a little bit on the pitch. He's not just doing a little bit here or there. He's literally so important to everything that happens on the football pitch. Defensively, in transition, going forward, creating, scoring goals. The guy is just like, there's no end to the list of what he does. Ruben Dias is a defender. He has to defend. That's his job. So I think that he could cope with it. I think he will be able to deal with it and it not really impact his game. So Ruben Dias, serious option. And I don't really see any negatives to giving it to Ruben Dias, in my personal opinion. Yo, big up to JTI, man, with the member chat. Says, big up LB on the chat. Hope you're all having a great day. Love from Canada. Big up JTI, man. I'm all good, Brit. I'm all good. Hopefully you're well as well. And big up to all the members that are in the chat right now. Let's give a quick couple of shout-outs. Got Goldfinger, JTI, Brandholt, Luke is in the building as well. Stefan, Sam Martin's there. Simon Clark is there as well. Loquacious, good to see you guys. Thank you very much for supporting me on this channel. If you guys want to help support the channel, then the link is in the description and pinned comment. Big up JTI, man. Okay, let's go on to the final player. Bernardo Silva. Let's go for the pros. Will play pretty much every game. I think there'll be some games that he doesn't play. I think there'll be some games that maybe he rotates out, but pretty much he will play every single game. In terms of work rate, work ethic, leading by example, there isn't probably a better player in the team to pick than Bernardo Silva. Works his socks off, never stops running, gives his all for the badge, has an incredible relationship with the fans, whether it be online or whether it be the 50,000 that go to the Etihad and the 2,000 to 3,000 that follow the team away from home. He has a great connection with the fans. He's a quality player. But for me, there's one thing stopping me from giving him the captain's armband. And that's just the fact that he doesn't really want to be here. Sorry to say. Oh, but LB signed a contract. What are you on about? He signed a contract, mate, because no one could afford him. And City were like, sign a contract. We'll get you on higher wages. That's the only thing. I think that a player that becomes... And you could say, by the way, you could potentially say the same about Kyle Walker. Now, Kyle Walker's been speaking today in the press conference. We can have a look at some of his comments about potentially leaving. But if you wanted to say the same about Kyle Walker, then I'd have no problems with that. The fact that he was discussing potentially going to Bayern Munich. But that's the only thing that's stopping him with Bernardo Silva. That I don't know. Again, if he got it, I won't be unhappy. I'd be happy for him. You know what I mean? Again, a great player, leads by example. But I just think the captain of the team, of this club, should be a player that like wants to be here, like 100%, 100% type thing. So for me, not for me. I'm happy with him being in the squad. Not in the captain's squad, but being that man. Not just my opinion. It's just not for me. Let's have a quick look at what Kyle Walker said then before, and then we can potentially have a look and have our say, and I'll tell you who I want to be the captain. So he said it was very weird, right? He said this. He says, Kyle Walker, on staying at Manchester City for the rest of his career. They'll have to wheel me out of here. Okay, that's great. But, I mean, it didn't look like that at some point during the season. And then he said this. Why would I want to leave this great team? Why would I leave a team that's won 3 Premier Leagues in a row and a treble? So, I don't know. It's a bit weird. Maybe he didn't want to leave. Maybe the journalist got it wrong. Unless he was just playing a little bit of a game to get a bigger contract. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. I don't put that in the same bracket as Bernardo, you know, because Bernardo's wanted to leave for 3 years. You know what I mean? I don't think Walker truly wanted to leave. I think with Walker, to be honest with you, I think he just had a little bit of a sulk at the end of the year because he didn't get selected in a big game. But other than that, you know what I mean? I think he was always going to stay, to be honest with you. So that brings us to the main point of the stream, people. Who should be Manchester City's captain? Now, in my opinion, I'm going to rule out Bernardo Silva for the reasons I've just said. The fact that The guy wanted to leave for 3 years and probably still wants to leave. Hence, he's got a £50 million release clause in his contract. So I'm going to do a poll. Who should be Man City's new captain? KDB, Diaz, Rodri, or Walker? Right, the poll is in the chat, but I'm going to tell you my opinion without looking at the poll. Poll is in the chat. Have you vote in the poll, guys? And by the way, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. So, my pick for the captaincy 2023-2024 is I'm going to go for okay, can I tell you the dilemma? I mean, I've got a dilemma. Can I tell you the dilemma, right? The dilemma is this. I want to give it to Walker, but I want to give it to Kevin De Bruyne. But I think Diaz should get it, man. Right, okay, here's what I'm saying. Right, one, I want Kevin De Bruyne to be captain because I want him to lift the Champions League or Premier League. I think that would be amazing. I think that'd be class. For me, he's the best player that's ever played for this football club. And I think for him to captain the side and lead us to a title or lead us to a Champions League would be amazing. To see him lift the trophy in front of the team would be incredible. However, Kyle Walker is thoroughly deserving of that captain's armband as well. Great option, great captain on the football pitch, and again, has a decent relationship with the fans. But Ruben Dias could captain this team for 7 to 8 years. And that gives us stability. It gives us a clear leader inside the dressing room. You ever heard the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth or whatever, yeah? Basically, you have too many people changing it all the time. Who's the captain, mate? I am the captain now. No, Ruben Dias will be the captain and he'll be the captain. Everyone would know everything goes through Ruben, you know? So stop sitting on a fence and basically give you an answer. And my answer is, oh, folks, I don't know. Because sentiment-wise, I give it Kevin De Bruyne. But what's the best thing for this football club? The best thing for this football club is if Ruben Dias is captain. That's the truth, in my opinion. The best thing for this football club is if Ruben Dias is captain and he can captain the team for the next 7 years. But sentiment LB is saying, give it Kevin De Bruyne, man, so he can lift the Champions League as a captain. It's not easy, man. Okay, I'm giving it Diaz. I'm giving it Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias is my Manchester City captain. Let's have a look at the poll. Okay, so the poll. 56% of you guys in the chat give it Ruben Dias. 30% of people say Kevin De Bruyne. 11% of people say Kyle Walker. And 2% of people give it to Rodri. So, yeah, looks like most of us agree on Ruben Dias. Listen, to be honest with you, I think all 5 of them are genuinely good options. The only reason I don't really want it to be Bernardo is because he doesn't actually properly want to be here. Oh, but he signed a new contract. Yeah, but, you know, there are other reasons why he signed that contract. But again, even if he got it, I won't be that arsed. You know, I think all of them are great options. I think we've got a great captain squad again this year. And I'm happy for it to be anyone. But in my opinion, the best thing for Manchester City Football Club is if Ruben Dias captains this squad and has the captaincy for 7 or 8 years. And it gives us stability. I think that's the best thing. But we've not had stability in the captain's armband for the last 5 years, and that's been fine. So does it really matter? Probably not. You'd have to say it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Otherwise we would have been struggling. We wouldn't have won a treble. We wouldn't have won 4 out of the last 5 Premier Leagues, you know? Give it to Gomez. So, yeah, that is the update. Now, I don't know when we're going to find out who the actual captain is, because at this moment in time, as far as I'm aware, we still don't know who the captain is, which I find very strange, weird. So, you know, when are they going to vote, man? Does anyone know when they're going to vote for the captaincy? You know, are we just gonna have this game? I mean, the season's already started, lads. You know what I mean? We played 5 matches in the Premier League. we need to know who the captain is. I think they'll decide tonight, tomorrow, maybe it's this week. Like, otherwise, what's the point in waiting? Walker said they voted already. Well, I wonder when they're going to tell us. When are they going to tell us then? Zeno says John Stones robbed. People not happy that John Stones is not in there. Let's do it. Well, the thing is, if you can only have 5, who would you remove? If you say you wanted a 5-man captain squad, yeah, and you wanted John Stones in the captain squad, who would you remove from the captain squad? Bernardo? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Right. Buzzing. Well, there we go. Bernardo Silva. Yeah, Bernardo. A lot of people saying Bernardo gone. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wonder if they put him in there to try and get him to stay like a little bit longer. Who knows? Right, okay, going to wrap it up there then. We've talked about the captain squad. Captain squad has been picked. Manchester City's 5-man captain squad been picked. And it's a good captain squad. Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva. I like that. Let's find out who they've actually chosen. It's like a what's it called? What's it called when you vote for government election? It's like an election. They all go to the ballot and put the ballot thing in, you know. So we'll have to wait and see, man. Cool. I think that's pretty much it then. We've got big games coming up this week. Tomorrow, City are playing in the Champions League. Wednesday, we're going to watch Bayern Munich absolutely demolish Manchester United. So make sure you join me for that. I'm going to do a watch along for that. Potentially do a watch along on Thursday. And then obviously the weekend is here. And it's also, yeah, the North London derby on Sunday, mate. So that's gonna be tasty. We kind of want Spurs to win that, but then when Spurs win, we then want them to start getting beat. Otherwise, they'll become proper title contenders. Right, big up, people. I'll be probably live later on. I'm sure there'll be some news later that drops. And even if there's not, I might do a little Red Star Belgrade preview. So yeah, there we go. Big up to everyone. Hopefully enjoy the rest of your day. And if you just joined me, rewind, watch it all. If you're watching back on replay, give us your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.